Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the weekly wrestling wrap-up. I am your host, Cody, a.k.a. Legend Killer, and alongside me is my co-host, Merrick, a.k.a. Brad.
What's up?
And this week we have a special show for you guys, coming off the heels of our last week's interview. We have another special guest tonight. I guess you could call him a little bit more special if you wanted to. Please welcome to the weekly wrestling wrap-up for you people in chat and for the people that will be downloading, former Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel Mcguinness.
Good evening to you, fellas. How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm feeling very special after that introduction.
Well, gotta try. First off, did you know? I think I did tell you that Claudio did the interview last week with us. I guess it was just announced that I found out you are actually going to be facing Claudio in a few weeks in Detroit, I believe.
Yeah, it's the end of next month, so I think it's about a month away. Yeah, June 26th, okay. I believe, Detroit. Yeah.
Now you two have had a little bit of a past history, I guess. Now, when you and him fight, is it just? I don't know how to word that. I just stumbled over my words, but I've seen you guys in the past, and you guys are really smooth. Is it to the point now in your career with him that you guys just are so good in the ring together that when you guys in a month, it'll be like nothing. It'll just be it'll flow really easily, and you guys will put on a good match without even trying.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. You got to remember, I'm going to be out. I haven't wrestled for 3 months or 2 months or so. By the time I get back in the ring, I'm going to try and do a little bit in the meantime, to try and knock some of the rust off and stuff like that. So it's not going to be easy wrestling anybody for first coming back. And we're both, when me and Claudio are wrestling, we're both at different stages in our career than we are then. I was a pure champion for most of that time, and he was just starting out there. He was a good old-fashioned babyface. Although actually, old-fashioned babyfaces were never European, were they? In the old days, he would have been a heel. But so we're both very different people than we were back then, and certainly Claudio is a much better wrestler than he was back then. So, I've got high hopes for it for sure, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Now I want to take some questions from the chat that we have up, and also from our forum members. The first question that was asked when we posed questions for you was from one of our forum members, Andy, and he wants to know, how big of a thrill was it to win and become the Ring of Honor World Champion?
At the time, it's kind of one of the weird things with the Ring of Honor belt. The same with losing it, in that at the time when you win it and at the time when you lose it, it doesn't seem that big deal. It seems a bigger deal once it settles in. Once you realize the size of it, the magnitude of it, so to speak. I mean, when I beat Morishima, that match, that was like the third or fourth match that we'd had, and man, some of those matches were just really, really snug and really big at living shit out of you. So, to a certain extent, it was it was nice to finally beat him, knowing that I wouldn't have to have another title match against him. And that's not to take anything away from him as a wrestler, because he's a fantastic wrestler without a doubt. But man, I certainly learned how to cover up and work hard against him, because he's every bit as believable as he looks.
Okay.
Nigel, let me ask you this. What's been your favorite match that you've had in your career? I know that's a big question to kind of come right out and ask, but...
Yeah, people ask me that question a lot. I'm not really 100% sure. With me, obviously, the one I enjoy the most is usually the one where I feel least pressure. Sometimes when you go out there, and certainly when you're the champion and you're expected to have a certain quality of match, especially in front of the ring of the crowds, it's really tough to enjoy it because you constantly feel that pressure, I remember a match with Jimmy Rave in Liverpool. We had one of those hardcore sort of matches, I think it was, or a fight without honor, I think it was. Really enjoyed that one. I mean, I had a pulled groin at the time, so it was absolute agony getting through it. But I always thought Jimmy was a very underrated guy, and all had fun with that one. And maybe one of the ones with Dragon as well. I think probably the first match I had with Dragon, sort of reason, the first time I ever wrestled Dragon, it was supposed to be just a one-off. They'd never planned on it being a series or anything else like that. But, we went out there and had such a good match that, Gabe decided to try and do more with it.
All right. Another question from one of our forum mates was, now see, and this was kind of a general question, but, I'm sure you'll find a way to answer it. Do you have any favorite wrestlers you like to watch currently and you would like to work with if possible? I don't know if that means from other companies, but, you can just give a general...
Textbook answer is always John Cena when people ask me who I want to wrestle, because obviously he's one of the top guys in the business at the moment. You wrestle John Cena on pay-per-view and you're going to make a whole lot of money, and that's ultimately what being a wrestler is about. It's a business. Obviously guys like Regal and guys like Finlay, I have so much respect for that. I'd be honoured to just be able to get in the ring and learn from guys like that. And then, as far as people I watch, I always try and, get on the old YouTube and try and check out some old stuff. I watch a lot of old British stuff. I've been watching a lot of the old UWFI here recently, actually. Volk Khan, if that guy's name rings any bells. Trying to adapt some of that sort of style.
All right.
Nigel, do you have a dream match that you would like to see or actually be a part of?
Yeah, John Cena. Actually, Wembley Stadium. Actually, I don't really know who against, but when I went to SummerSlam '92, Wembley Stadium, when they set a lot of records. I think that's the merchandise record that still stands to this day for Bret Hart and Bulldog, and a dream match would be wrestling in Wembley Stadium and beating it.
All right. Now, actually, on to that, going off that question, we had spoke a little bit through email about kayfabe and how, you made the comment that kayfabe is dead like the dinosaurs.
I made that comment to you on an email.
that was great. Honestly, that comment was awesome. But you're honestly right. It really is when you have companies that blur the line between them, and it really hasn't been around since the early '90s. They haven't